Hello, everyone. I'm Morgan Merriman, Realtor at RE/MAX Alliance here in Fort Collins, Colorado, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lifestyle Living's Community Connection. So today I have the pleasure of speaking with Melissa Zuniga, and so Melissa is the owner of Nieves y Botanas de Bajio here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Nieves y Botanas de Bajio is a Mexican ice cream and snack shop located 5 minutes from downtown Fort Collins. They offer some of the best Mexican antojitos, which are snacks, in the area, including delicious homemade Aguas Frescas, Mangoneadas, Fresas con Crema, Clamatazos, and more. So thank you, Melissa, for taking the time to do this with me, learn a little bit more about your shop. So first off, just tell me a little bit about you, how you got started with this. Are you from here? Just a little background.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Melissa. I'm the owner of Nieves y Botanas del Bajio. And then I also have another business, which is an insurance agency. But this is my favorite one, obviously, because I get to munch on the snacks here.
For sure.
So I'm 31. I have two kids. My husband and I pretty much run this shop. Okay. He's not here right now, but he's here in the evenings or weekends most of the time. And the one who actually started this business was my mom.
Okay.
But when COVID hit, it was really hard on her. She was like, you know what? I'm ready to give up. I don't think I can support this business anymore. And so my husband and I, we put all of our savings into it, and we just kind of took over. So
it's a bold move.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing, though. COVID took a lot of people out. So the fact that she was ready to sort of say, this isn't going to work, I got to throw in the towel, and you guys threw on that cape and stepped right up. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I just felt bad because I know she worked really hard for this place to grow, and it was growing. Yeah. And then everybody just kind of paused, you know?
For sure.
I'm sure everybody can relate. And I just didn't want to see her dream go down the drain. And I'm like, well, let me see if we can keep it in the family and just, keep going.
That's amazing. So when did she start it?
She started, so she also started the tax business back in 2010.
Okay.
And we outgrew their little office, and then we started renting this place, but now it was too big. So we're like, what else could we add to this place? Yeah. And that's where we had the idea of, okay, let's start selling paletas, ice cream, snacks. We started maybe with 5-6 things on the menu. Now we have over 30 items on the menu.
It's awesome.
So yeah, it just grew little by little, but officially with the ice cream shop, it's been about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very cool. So speak a little bit about some of what you offer,
Sure.
And also what maybe differentiates you from some of the other shops in the area.
Sure. So we, in Mexico, we have these things called tienditas, which are little stores with snacks. And so as a kid, I grew up in Mexico until I was about 8 or 9 years old. Okay. We would go down the street and get our snacks and just hang out with friends, play soccer in the street. And when we came over here, it was just different. Yeah. You don't have that here. No. So we got inspired by that. Like, oh, we should open something here that's close to neighborhoods where they could just come and enjoy a scoop of ice cream or anything like that. Yeah. The official Mexican ice cream and snacks shop is in Denver. Okay. So the commute was a little bit, far away for us.
For sure.
Not very neighborhood, in the area. So that's what kind of made us open something. I think there's enough Mexican or Latino communities here in this area. So we're like, it could work. Yeah. Yeah. No. So it has.
Absolutely. And it sort of leads me into one of my other questions, but you're right. I mean, I grew up here in Fort Collins, and I just don't recall there being a store like this. And then I moved away to San Diego and Austin, Texas.
Those are
and
the
got
places
more
where...
accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And so it is great that, you provide an offering for something that you just don't usually see. I mean, I can think of 2 other stores that are similar, here in Fort Collins. But aside from that, there's just not too many options.
I think what just differentiates us from them is we're 100% family-owned business. That's my grandfather, that's my brother, my mom's next door, my husband works with me. Yeah. Those are our nieces working in the back. Awesome. So we do take a lot of homemade recipes and put them into our snacks, and we are involved with TikTok and Instagram, and we're like, oh look, we should try this. We have to evolve, the same way that everybody is. And I'm like, let's try it, something new. It looks good.
Yep.
And yeah, some of the items we've tried it, and it's been a hit.
That's good.
So,
no, but it's very true. If you're not evolving, you're going to fall behind,
Yep.
because trends are changing. And even though many of the recipes are, deep rooted from your childhood and beyond, throwing in some newer ones just spices it up, keeps it fresh, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think I worked in restaurants for 12 years, really high-end restaurants, and you saw some really good restaurants go by the wayside. And it's like, well, they were so good. Why did they go? Well, they felt like what they had was perfect and they didn't want to change it. And if you're not changing a little bit, people are going to go elsewhere.
Right.
So very smart. So, okay. And again, you talked about this a little bit. What is something that your customers or clients would be surprised to learn about your business? One is fully family owned. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on with that?
Just that we just have a lot of dedication and a lot of love for this business. I don't just see it for the money, to be honest. I don't know if you know, but in a restaurant, the profit of a restaurant is very minimum.
Very slim, for sure.
So sometimes I'm like, what are we even doing here? But then I look around and I see, families coming to enjoy our snacks or ice cream, even my own kids. This is their favorite place to get ice cream, obviously. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can't let this go yet.
Yeah, that's okay. No, and and it's so true. I mean, whether it's restaurant or even selling houses, people may think, oh my God, you own your own store, your own restaurant, you're rolling in the dough. Maybe not so much. Same with selling houses, But it's more, I love the connection with people. I love working with first-time home buyers. I love seeing the smile on their face when they've made this huge step in life. And yours is on a smaller scale. You like feeding the community, seeing the kids smile, knowing that they've got a good place to come and get some of the stuff that maybe they're used to from back home, or they're visiting their relatives back in Mexico and they can't get it here, and now they can.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It goes beyond the profits.
Yeah, I took my kids 2 summers ago to Mexico, and they were like, oh my gosh, Mom, look, they have the same thing that we have. I'm like, well, where do you think we got it from?
Exactly.
Just bringing that little part of us from Mexico to here. And they're like, oh, that's smart. I'm like, okay.
They'll learn. Absolutely. So I love it. So, like I mentioned a little bit, Fort Collins has a much smaller population of Latino American residents, than where I lived in San Diego and Austin. As a result, some people may be intimidated to come in here versus out there, you're exposed to it more in San Diego, exposed to it more in Texas to get more used to it. So for those people who maybe drive by the store and say, oh, I don't know, like, was there anything that I would like in there? They're intimidated to come in. What would you tell to those people to encourage them to come and try it?
We've gone to a lot of these events like Taste of Fort Collins. We'll be at the Corn Roast at the Loveland Chamber of Commerce event. And I always tell them, don't be afraid to try it. There has to be at least one thing you'll like on the menu. I mean, I'm sure everybody's familiar with churros, ice cream. Now corn in a cup is very popular. When back in the day, it's like, well, what is that?
Exactly.
Like just a corn in a cup? Like, no, it's much more than that, I feel like there's at least one thing that you can try and that you'll like, and if you don't like it, that's fine. Try something else.
Exactly.
We have samples. We give out samples of ice cream, samples of small things that we can do, like Fresas con Crema, and it's been a hit. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So Fresas con Crema has always been one of my favorites. I love the corn on the cup. And I do remember back when I lived in San Diego, you'd see the elote guy walking around, and I was a little like, what the heck?
Yeah,
and then I moved to Austin. Yeah, what is he selling? What is going on with the corn? I'm used to butter and salt and pepper. And then I got to Austin, and I worked at a restaurant where we had Mexican-style street corn. And I was like, oh my God, and now we make it at home.
That extra kick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my wife is Latina, and so, just being with her more for the past, 9 years has exposed me even more. And we go back to LA and we try different stuff. One of my favorites, I can't remember the name, is it's like the milk caramel candy. or the milk sugar candy, the yellow
Oh,
with
the
the red rose.
mazapan.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
we
yeah,
have a
you know.
mazapan milkshake. So.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, and we went to a Mexican restaurant recently, and my wife and I each got a horchata.
Uh-huh.
And my father, who just turned 80 last week, was like,
Oh.
"What is that?" You know,
Yeah.
and here, try it. It's
Never
cinnamon
too
and
late.
nutmeg, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like a rice milk drink, and he loved it. You know,
Yeah.
but people just, like I said, some are intimidated to try new stuff.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised at what you like if you try it.
And we have a lot of basic stuff like scoop of ice cream.
For sure.
You know, but we like to add the extra. Like, well, let's add a churro to it.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like, why not?
Switch it up.
For
It's
the
like
sweet tooth.
the first person who made a Bloody Mary and said, "Well, let's add bacon in there and a small pickle and
Yeah.
a carrot and this and that." You know,
Yeah.
switch it up.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so go ahead and tell everybody how they can find you, both physically and online.
Okay. So we're about 5 minutes from downtown.
Mhm.
We're right next to the Lyric.
Okay.
I feel like that's what everybody knows where it is.
For sure.
And our website is foco-nybdelbajio.com. You can order online. You can order to pick up. You can order through Uber, Uber Eats, DoorDash. We have everything.
Perfect.
So,
I love it. And
yeah.
that's smart too. All right, so lastly, when you are not working, which sounds like maybe is rare, what do you enjoy doing?
So like I said, I have 2 kids and I have a stepdaughter. And I like to spend my time with them. I feel like it's very important to still let them know that, you know, I'm still your mom.
Mhm.
I'm not just the boss here and here. Like, I'm still your mom and I still enjoy having time with you. So we like to go swimming at City Park Pool. We like to go to the Fort Collins Museum, Martinez Farm, just different activities that are not that exhausting for
sure.
a parent.
I feel you.
But they still enjoy it and take it as quality time with mom.
Yep.
So
No, I feel
that's
you.
my main
We are
thing.
we are the same. Whenever
Yeah.
we are not working, we are with our kids, just doing as much as we can. They're 4 and 5. We do very similar things to you. Go to the pool, go to Lee Martinez, take them to the Discovery Center, because it's important. I saw something recently that by the time your child is 18 years old, you will have spent 90% of the time that you have with them, because then they venture off and you see them sporadically. So really to soak in this time now, because it's the bulk majority of the time that you have with your children. So super important. Well, thanks again to you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of you who have tuned in to learn about yet another great local company. Like I said, you know, I've learned so much about Mexican culture from the cities that I've lived in over the last 20 years, from my wife and relatives back in LA. Actually, a little bum moving back here because I thought that we weren't going to have some of the offerings that I was used to in San Diego and most importantly in Austin.
I bet.
But then, so to learn of another place where I can come and get my Aguas Frescas and my Fresca con Crema is just fantastic. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Stick around. So once again, I'm Morgan Merriman, Realtor at RE/MAX Alliance. If you have a business that you would like to be interviewed, or if you know of somebody who does, by all means reach out to me. All my information will be at the end of the video. And then I'm always happy to help out you and your loved referrals for any real estate needs. So thanks, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Lifestyle Living's Community Connection.